Top of the morning to everyone. Please be ready as our program will start shortly. Participants may fill in the form given in the comment section for the use of attendance certificate and lucky draw. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good morning I bid to everyone. Before we start, let us all begin this program by reciting dua that will be led by Mr. Wan Muhammad Faris Aidil bin Wan Ruslan. The non-Muslims can recite prayers according to their respective beliefs. With that, I welcome Mr. Faris.
Okay, thank you, Miss Iza, the MC. Okay, so today on the second day of the event, we are going to start with dua recitation. Before that, we are going to recite the Umul Kitab Al-Fatihah. A'udzubillahi minasyaitonirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Ar-Rahmanirrahim. Malik Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amin. A'udzubillahi minasyaitonirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Hamdan yuafi ni'amahu wa yukafi mazidah ya rabbana lakal hamdu kama yanbaghi li jalali wajhikal karimi wa azimi sultani. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Praise be to Allah, Lord of the worlds. Let your blessing and your peace be on your servant and your messenger, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his family and his companions. Ya Allah, on this glorious day, on the second day of our event, we uphold our hands to pray gratefully, to thank on your infinite favor to us till we can live in peace and harmony to perform our tasks as your servants. O Allah, we ask your blessing to make this occasion, self-upskilling plan, successful. Allahumma ya hayyu ya qayyum ya zal jalali wal ikram. You are the mercy of the mercies, and you are the Lord of the universe. Give us mercy from your presence and shape for us right conduct. We ask for knowledge that is beneficial and sustenance which is good, and deeds that are acceptable. O Allah, forgive us, have mercy upon us, guide us, give us health, and grant us success. Amin Rabbal Alamin. Allahumma Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adzaban nar. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wasallam. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
Amin, Amin, Ya Rabbal Alamin. Thank you, Mr. Faris, for the beautiful prayers. May God bless our program for today. I would like to welcome back everyone to the second day of Self Upskilling Plan, or shortly known as SUP, handled by the final year students of English Communication from University Sultan Zainal Abidin Uniza with the collaboration of Faculty of Languages and Communication, University Sultan Zainal Abidin Uniza. Before we dive straight into the sessions, I would love to introduce our guests of honor. The Honorable Associate Professor Dr. Muhammad Nazri bin Latif Azmi, the Dean of Faculty of Languages and Communication, the Program Advisor of Self Upskilling Plan SUP, and also the lecturer for our Event Management subject, Madam Nur Gigi Diana binti Azmi. Our respected panels for today, Mr. Norhaizal Ramley and Mr. Zulkarnian bin Ahmad, the Program Director of Self Upskilling Plan SUP, Mr. Muhammad Shami Haikal bin Nor Arizan, and most importantly, our fellow attendees. My name is Noriza Atira binti Ilyas, and I will be your MC for today. A bit on today's flow, we will have two slots regarding reading and listening for the morning session and personality for the evening session. Each session will end with exciting activities specially prepared by our committees. A gentle reminder again for all visits to fill in the form given in the comment section for the use of attendance certificate and lucky draw. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, a bit about our speaker for this session. He is an English communication trainer and teaching staff, event and training manager, and professional MC from Anurari sources. Without wasting any more time, let us call upon our distinguished speaker, Mr. Norhaizal Ramli, to enlighten us about reading and listening with his talk called To Read is to Listen. The floor is yours, Mr. Norhaizal.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to everyone. Okay, so we are back here on the second day of your program, Self Upskilling Plan, with the Uniza University Sultan Zainal Abidin Kuala Terengganu. It is a delight for me to be here again on the second day, sharing with you what I know, okay, on the subject of professional communications. Right. And today we are so blessed to be gathered here on a beautiful Friday morning. It's a good Friday. It's the last day of the year. Tomorrow will be the new year for year 2022. Inshallah. Okay. Good morning, Nurul Ain Manan. Okay. Ready to begin? Right. Okay. So just to recap a bit from yesterday's session. So yesterday we looked at the communication skills in writing and speaking. Okay. specifically on the output skills of the language. Okay, so we have writing, okay, on papers, on medium, so we write to convey information, and to speak as well. Okay, so we speak using our uh, voice and visual. It's not just about voice, it's also about visual. So to speak to your audiences. And today we are going to look at the input, okay, part input skills of communication, which is on reading and listening. Thank you, Sarah Fadila. Can't wait to learn more, inshallah. Okay, inshallah. We will try to learn as much as possible. And today I'm going to have you do some activities as well. Okay, so it will not just be one way communication. Even though I can't really see you or hear you, I can still see your comments there. All right. Okay. So I'll be throwing in some tasks for you to do for today, because this is reading and listening. Okay, and to get you actively reading and actively listening, there are some things that you have to do instead of just sitting back and listening to my lecture, so to speak. So this is not going to be the usual lecture, just a simple one-way lecture. Okay, now let's go into the topic. Right, so as Miss MC has already announced to you, today it will be reading and listening, and aptly named to read is to listen. Now let me try to share my screen with you. Share screen. Screen two. All right, there we go. Okay, so still on professional communication skills. Okay, and today we'll be looking at, okay, reading and listening. To read is to listen. What does it mean to read is to listen? So you're not just reading, you are listening through the words. How does that work? Reading and listening. Listening and reading. Because both are input skills. So the same, almost the same skills apply to both skills. Okay. So you read to gather information, to gain information. You listen also to gather information, to gain information. So to read is to listen. Now let's look at the content. Okay, these are some of the things that we are going to touch on today. 5 strategies to read, types of reading skills, listening skills, and then types of listening skills, and steps to effective listening. Okay, briefly. So this is the content briefly. Okay, now let's dive into the first part of our topic today, reading. All right, now when it comes to reading, right, you are a generation raised in the world of technologies, okay, medium, electronic medium. Okay? How many of you still enjoy reading books, flipping through the pages? How many of you would actually go to bookshops and buy physical books, papers? Hmm. Right. Now, you may compare reading books, okay, or reading materials on papers, and compare reading on your screen, okay, the screen of your computer, the screen of your devices, gadgets, okay. Some of you may have Kindle even. Okay, I have a good friend who is an avid reader on Kindles. She reads like hundreds of books every year. Okay, Nurul Aimanat. I still prefer physical books. There's a different sense of enjoyment when you are flipping through the pages and flipping through your Kindle pages, okay, electronic page. Now, some of the apps on the market now are trying to mimic the flipping of pages on electronic devices. So you can flip and flip and flip as if you are holding a physical book in your hand, but still it doesn't. It feels quite different. Okay, reading through the screen and reading on paper. But okay, we are going to look at reading in a professional context. Okay, that one is for you to think about. Okay, whether you want to read on paper or read on electronic devices, but still, okay, the skills apply the same. You are reading. Okay, now the strategies to read faster and read smarter. We'll go through this a bit quickly, briefly. First, you need to know what you're reading and why. You have to know what you are reading and why you are reading. Are you reading a storybook? Like, okay, we have the theme Harry Potter today. How many of you have actually read the book? How many of you have actually read the book Harry Potter, the whole series by J.K. Rowling, not merely watching the movies? And not me. Okay, yeah, I understand that because it came out as a movie, okay, and the whole series came out as a movie, as movies, okay, several episodes. We have like what, seven, okay, Harry Potter, the first one, okay, with the Philosopher's Stone, and then the Chamber of Secret, yeah, and those were books. So maybe some of you have actually read the book, but most of you would have read through the movies. Okay, reading the book gives you a different skill. Watching the movies give you different skill. Right? So know what you are reading and why. You're reading books such as storybooks, okay, or you are reading articles. Okay, articles, academic articles. Why do you read academic articles, Sharafi? I got all the book. Ah, good for you. Okay, so you read the skills needed in reading storybooks and reading articles, academic articles, or manuals or instructions would be slightly different. So you need to know what you are reading and why you are reading. Are you reading for pleasure, for joy, just to enjoy the story? Or are you reading for information? Okay, right. Next, you need to identify key information. Okay, identify key information in your reading. What are the things that you need to gather from this reading? Okay, identify the key information. What are you looking for in the reading materials? Increase your understanding. Increase your understanding. How do you do that? How do you increase your understanding in reading? Okay, and recall and review the text. Okay, are you familiar with the SQ3R? Okay, recall and review the text. How many of you read an article and 2 hours later you can't remember a thing? Were you really reading? Were you really focusing on the information, or just skimming through? You weren't even skimming through. If you forgot everything, it was just you saw the words, but you don't really commit to mind. Okay? You read the words, yes, you read, but do you commit to the information? Do you focus on the information? So to recall and review the text, okay, some of the strategies that has been put forward, that those are very popular ones. Okay, some of them are SQ3R. Okay, who can tell me the SQ3R? Oh, some of you have the Malay version of Harry Potter. Okay, right, they have Malay versions now. SQ3R. Any of you familiar with this? S for survey. Let's jog your mind if you have seen this before. S for survey, Q for question, 3R, read. First R is read, second R is, yeah, it's the reading system. Survey, S, question, Q, 3Rs. First R, read, recite, review. Yeah, thank you very much, Sarah Fadila. Nah, okay. So this is the strategies that you can use to read and actually understand what you're reading. Okay, the survey, the question, the reading, the reciting, and the review. Okay, control your reading environment. Okay, the last part, control your reading environment. Where do you read? Can you actually read in an environment where there are noises? Okay, too much noise around you. Would you be able to focus your reading? Which is why you can see people hanging out in Starbucks. We used to do that in our study years. Okay, we hang out at Starbucks. You buy one cup of coffee and you hang out for five hours or even a whole day. Lepak at Starbucks for the environment, because the ambience there. So you get the quietness, get the tranquility in that environment, and you can finish a whole book just sitting there, sipping your coffee slowly. Okay, control your reading environment. Okay, if you read in your room, is it peaceful enough? Okay, in your own room. Starbucks is probably not a great place to read a book peacefully. I'm not sure about your Starbucks. Okay, the Starbucks that we frequent is really cozy. You can just hang out there, read books, and play chess even. Okay, so it's very pleasant. So find your environment. Okay, control your reading environment. Find an environment for you to read. Okay, so that you can focus on your reading and actually gain something from your reading, not just gliding through the words. All right. So strategies to read faster and read smarter. Just a simple brief run over on this one. Okay. Now the types of reading skills. Now this is the one that we are going to focus on. The types of reading skills. You have the first one, extensive reading. Okay, extensive reading as opposed to intensive reading. And then we have scanning and skimming. Okay, or skimming and scanning. Either way. Okay, you may be familiar with skimming and scanning. Okay, in your reading classes, you would be introduced to skimming and scanning. Extensive reading, intensive reading, scanning, skimming, and critical reading. Now, these are the skills that you need to not master. Okay, these are the skills that you need to equip yourself with. Okay, in order to be an avid reader, in order to be an efficient reader, especially in the working environment. And when you start working, okay, don't say that, oh, during study, you only need to read extensively during studies. Okay, when you start working, there are many more things that you have to read through. Documents, reports, manuals, instructions, emails, correspondence, letters, so many different types of reading. Okay, and how do you do that? Okay, now let's go to the first one, extensive reading. Okay. So one of the methods of reading that people use for relaxation and pleasure. So this is what you do when you read Harry Potter. Now this is what you do when you read Tolkien's Lord of the Rings, The Hobbits, or even comics. Okay, so you use extensive reading for relaxation and pleasure. There's no burden. Okay, it places no burden upon the reader, and due to its indulgent nature, it is seldom used if the text isn't enjoyable. You wouldn't be reading a report in an extensive manner. You wouldn't be reading an instruction extensively. Okay, so you read stories. Okay, now apply that to reading on social media. Even you read stories on social media. Okay, many people would enjoy that. I'm not sure about your group. Okay, maybe some of your generation don't even have Facebook. Okay, but there are things that you can read, okay, substantially on Facebook, okay, or blogs even. So you follow somebody's blog, and there are things that you can enjoy reading on the blog. You can enjoy reading on Facebook pages. Okay, there are many beneficial Facebook pages out there, things that you can follow. Okay, now this is one of the methods of reading that occurs naturally. You see something, and you, if you can read, okay, since all of us went to school, okay, all of us are literate, you can read, so you glide through. It occurs naturally. Whatever you see, you read through. It's how you've read as a child and while growing up. Okay, I have 4 kids now. Okay, and Alhamdulillah, they like reading. Okay, regular visit to the bookshop would cost me a lot. Okay, but they enjoy reading. Okay, so we provide them with the materials to read. So as a child, they would read extensively. Okay, there's no critical reading involved. There's no scanning involved in reading. They just read through the stories. Okay, this method of reading helps you understand words in context and enriches your vocabulary. You pick up on the sentence structure. You pick up on the words. Okay, right. Imagine reading through Harry Potter, the first series. How many hundreds of pages there? Yeah, berapa ratus page tu. So you pick up on the words and the context, and it enriches your vocabulary. Would you be looking through the dictionary while reading Harry Potter? If you understand English, okay? So if you already learn English, so you can read in English, so you just flip through the pages, reading for the story. You don't really focus on the words. You can understand the story, okay? Just go through. You don't really look through the dictionary. Hey, what is the meaning of this word? Tak ada. Okay. So it happens naturally. Extensive reading. Now, when you go to intensive reading is used when you want to read carefully by paying complete attention to understand every word of the text. This is what happens in the working environment normally. So we read intensively. So we need to focus on every word to understand the context and to understand what it really means. For example, instructions. You follow instructions to the letter, okay, to the T. Okay, you follow instructions carefully. You don't just simply bolehlah faham lah kot. Okay, you need to understand very carefully. It is where you would examine and decipher each unfamiliar word. What does this word mean? So you need to understand it first. You need to look through the definition first. What is the meaning of absorb? What is the meaning of adsorb? What is the meaning of a beam if you are in engineering? What is the meaning of ray? Okay, and the verb that comes with it. Okay, right. So you read intensively. You need to understand every word of the text, okay, to make sure what you understand is correct. Okay. This reading method is especially used when reading academic texts. We get a lot of, okay, in our editing work, okay, we get a lot of different documents and materials to read, okay, from different sorts of engineering fields, from different sciences, okay, medical, marine, electronic engineering, legal, okay. Now, you read this academic text, you are students now. Okay. So now you are students, you read academic texts. For what? You are preparing for an exam or to publish a report. So when you read, what do you look for? You look for the details, the information that would help you answer the exam questions. Right? Now, by reading intensively, it helps you to retain information for much longer periods. Okay, you remember it for longer. Okay, it commits into your long-term memory. It's not just short-term memory. But don't do it last minute lah, of course. In the exam sekejap lagi, now only you read, answer the exam, and then after the exam you forget everything. Okay, that is short-term memory. But when you read intensively, it commits to your long-term memory. So you can retain the information for much longer periods. Next time, you can still recall the information. Masih boleh ingat. You can still remember bits of it. Now in critical reading gets the reader to critically read as the facts and information are tested for accuracy. True or false? Correct, incorrect? Is this real information or is it fake information? Okay, so you read critically. You take a look at the ideas mentioned and analyze them until you reach a conclusion. Okay, there's some issue going on the internet now. One thing is about the flood situation. So about the logging in Kelantan, in Pahang, okay. So we are bombarded with a lot of information. Some people say that this illegal logging, okay, pembalakan haram. Some say it's nature, okay. So you take all this information and you need to compare and contrast. You need to test them for accuracy. You need to refer to articles published by the authorities, by scientists. Which one is correct? So critical reading is often used when reading the news on social media. Yeah. You get a lot of news on social media. Some of them are fake news even. So you need to differentiate. You need to critically analyze whether it is true or false, real or fake. Watching controversial advertisements or reading periodicals, okay, from your working environment, okay, journals, articles. So you need to critically analyze your reading. Okay, extensive, intensive, and critical reading. Now, skimming. Now, in skimming, you try to understand the text in short. Okay, skim through. Nama pun skim. So you skim through the material. Though one saves a lot of time through this method, one will gain only a shallow understanding of the text. Okay, so when you skim through a text, you are trying to get the broad idea only. Okay, you want to get the main idea of the topic being discussed. Okay, at the moment, okay, you are only looking through, okay, what is this article about? Normally, on the first page, you will have the introduction or the abstract or something. So that is where you get the broad idea. Okay? Generally used to judge whether the information is useful or not. Take a book, for example. Okay? So you pick up a magazine and you flip through the pages. You're not reading through, you're just skimming through. Okay? You pick up a magazine or simple book and you look at the synopsis. Okay? You look at the synopsis. What is the book about? Does it interest you? Okay, you take in only the headings or the pictures to get a broad idea of what the magazine covers. Okay? You pick up a book, the Time magazine or Life magazine, okay, or Business magazine. So does it interest you? Okay, does the content appeal to you? Menarik atau tak? Does it feel relevant to your needs to read? If it does, from your skimming, and you get that idea that this would be something that I want to read, then you will go into the next stages of reading. So you skim through. Okay. And from skimming, you go into scanning. Scanning is one of those kinds of reading where you read to search for a particular piece of information. Okay, note the word scan. You scan to look for something. Okay, your eyes quickly skim over the sentences until you find it. What are you looking for? For example, when you read an academic article, you are looking for facts, for the name of the author, okay, the name of the reference, okay, Orwell, George. So you find the name, George Orwell. Are you familiar with George Orwell? Okay, Animal Farm, 1984. Okay, author. Shakespeare. Okay, you would be familiar with Shakespeare. So you look through to find the name. You're looking for a date. So you know the format of a date. So you scan through and find the exact date that you are looking for. You're looking for numbers, percentage, statistics, data. So you scan to find this information. Once you find it, and that is where your focus will be directed to. Okay, you can use this method when you don't need to go deep into the text. Okay, you only need to find this information. For example, you get a leaflet about an event. What do you need to know? When is the event? You find the date. Where will the event be held? You find the venue, the location. Who is the organizer? You find the name of the organization. How do you contact them? You find the email. You find the number that you can contact. Okay, so you scan through your reading materials to find this. Scanning involves rapid reading and is often used by researchers and for writing reviews. I'm sure you do that. You have to do that. Okay, as students, you have to use these skimming and scanning skills. Okay, now, right. So I'm going to show you some reading reading activities that you can practice on. Right. Now let's go to excuse me. I've been coughing since yesterday. Excuse me. Sorry, had to quickly drink water. All right. Now remember learn English from British Council from yesterday. Okay. Now under British Council's Learn English, you can find the skills section here. Okay, skills where you have listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Okay, now for today, we are going to look at the reading skills provided by British Council here. Okay, so when you go into reading, this is what you will find. Okay, and you can see here that there are 5 different levels: beginner, pre-intermediate, intermediate, upper intermediate, and advanced C1, just like all the other materials here. Okay, so to find out your level, you can use this online test. Okay, we'll try that later. Okay, discover your current English level by taking our free online test. Now, let's put your level at, okay, let's try pre-intermediate first. Okay, under pre-intermediate, you will have some reading practices here. Okay, so you have a message to a new friend, an email from a friend, an end of term report, an invitation to a job interview, choosing a conference venue, so on and so forth. Now let's try to look at an invitation to a job interview. Okay, something that would apply to you soon. Yeah, Nurul Ain Manan. I will show you how to gauge your reading level after this. Okay, now an invitation to a job interview. This is one topic under the reading skills by British Councils. Okay, an invitation to a job interview. You are going to read an email invitation to a job interview to practice and improve your reading skills. Now, reading emails. So which skill would that apply? Extensive, intensive, critical, skimming, scanning? What skills of reading are we going to use for this one? Now, it will always come with the preparation task. So don't skip that. Use it. Match the words with the definitions. So you have the choices of words here. A CV, ID, a position, to reschedule, reception, references. So what will be the first one here? A job in a company, for example, a marketing manager or sales assistant. Now to test your understanding. Scanning, Fatima Shara says scanning. We are scanning for the information here. Let's try this one first. Okay, a job in a company, for example, a marketing manager or sales assistant. What word is that? Just put the word in the box given there. A short document that shows your experience and qualifications. Hmm. The live chat on YouTube is a bit lagging. So I really wait for your answer. A short document that shows your experience and qualifications. A CV, a curriculum vitae. Letters from people who know you that describe your abilities. References. Identification, a document with your name, photo, and other personal information. ID, the place in an office where visitors arrive. Reception, to change the date or time of something. To reschedule. And click on finish, and you will get the evaluation. Correct. Total score is 6 out of 6. Okay, now reading text. So this is the usual format of an email. Okay, so you get an email for invitation. Okay, an email of invitation to a job interview. So you have the to line, you have the deadline. Now this is deadline. Uh, so let's correct the deadline part. Okay, when you say deadline, deadline, deadline is the due date. Okay, deadline is tarikh hantar. Okay, deadline, due date. Deadline, now, such as in this email, deadline, that is the actual deadline, garisan tarikh. Or if you read newspaper articles, you have the date there as well. That is the deadline. Now, please correct deadline versus deadline. Okay. Now, when is the deadline? Oh, tak ada, tak ada. When is the deadline? Okay, when is the deadline for submission? Why? Because if you don't submit, you're dead. Okay, think of it that way. Okay, deadline instead of deadline. Okay, subject line, invitation to job interview. Right. Now, what kind of information do you need from this email? What kind of information are we looking at in this kind of email? You are reading through the email. To Grace Young, you are the recipient, you are Grace Young, so you don't need that. Date 6 September, that is the date the person sent you the email. Subject, invitation to job interview. All right, okay, now that is important. You see the subject in your email list, invitation to job interview. All right, click it. That is important. Invitation to job interview. Now, what other information are we looking for? You have been invited to a job interview. When? When is the interview? We would like to invite you for an interview at 10 a.m. on Monday, 21st September. Now, that is very important. Okay, you scan and you find the information. The when. 10 a.m. Monday, 21st September. Where? Where is the venue? Where is the location of the interview? The Shard, 32 London Bridge Street, London. Okay, you get the when and you get the where. What else? What are the information? The position of the job. Yes, very good. The position of sales manager. So you are applying for a job as a sales manager. If they call you out for the invitation to job interview is as human resource manager, you have no experience in human resource and you applied for sales manager, but they asked you to come in for the position of HR assistant manager, human resource assistant manager. So you need to reevaluate whether you are going to go for the interview. Okay, so the who. You will meet with our head of sales, Susan Park, the person that you will be meeting. And the interview will last for about 45 minutes. Oh, they even tell you how long the interview will be. Now, that is good information. so you can prepare for the 45 minutes of your life. Okay, 45 minutes of your career advancement. What are you going to do in the 45 minutes of the opportunity that you are given? 45 minutes is a long time. So, what are you going to do in the 45 minutes? What are you going to speak about? Okay, during this time, you will have the opportunity to find out more about the position and learn more about our company. So, you can ask questions. So, what else you need to know? You need to bring your CV, you need to bring your references. Imagine if you don't really read through, you go there with your CV alone, no references whatsoever. Will that impress the interviewer? Datang interview tak cukup dokumen. What do you think will happen? You didn't read through the email, eh, religiously. So it says bring your CV and references. You come with your CV and no references. Now you have a lower chance of getting hired. You will also need to show a form of ID at reception to receive a visitor's card. So your my card, your driving license. Please ask for me as soon as you arrive. Okay. As soon as you arrive, please ask for me. Me who? Grace Young, Susan Park. Okay. If you have any questions or if you wish to reschedule, please call me on 555-1234. What is that? That's the telephone number. Or email me by 12 September. You can email by 12 September. If you email by 13 September, yeah, chances are you might not be entertained. Okay, I look forward to meeting you. Best regards, Anna Green, Human Resources Assistant. So this is the person who emailed you, not Susan Park. Susan Park is not the person who emailed you. Anna Green is the person who emailed you. So to email her back, how are you going to email her back? This is an email, so you can just, yes, I think the employer will see him or her as not prepared, not interested with the position. So whatever they ask for in the invitation, you prepare, right? So make sure you read through everything lah, to know what they need, okay, to know what they want. Okay, so now this kind of reading, now let's go through the tasks after reading this. Task one. This is what I love about British Council, all the materials that they provide. What job did Grace apply for? Sales manager. Okay. Rejected. Fatin Aisha says rejected. Chances are you get rejected lah. Okay. So sales manager. So they have allocated 45 minutes for your interview. You come unprepared, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, they say thank you, we'll contact you. That does not sound good. Out of 45 minutes, you spend only 10 minutes. Okay? So, goodbye job. Okay, what job did Grace apply for? Sales manager. Okay, when is the job interview? You still remember? Okay, if you're reading diligently, scanning through, 21st September. What is 12 September? Now, reading would reading task would confuse you, as in they will provide you several dates. Remember, 12 September is for the email. 21st September is the interview itself. How long will the interview take? Under an hour, 45 minutes, right? A day, the interview for a day. What job are you interviewing for? Okay. What does Grace need to bring to the interview? Her CV, her references, her ID, all of the above. Who should Grace ask for at reception? The reception manager, Susan Park, Anna Green, Grace Young. She is Grace Young. Anna Green and Susan Park. Which one? Susan Park is the person that she will be meeting for the interview. Anna Green is the person that emailed her, who asked her to find her, okay, call for her, ask for her, ask for Anna Green. Okay. What can Grace do if she wants to change the interview date? What can Grace do if she wants to change the interview date? Go to the reception, call Anna Green on 10 September, email Anna Green on 15 September, meet Susan Park for a coffee on 21st September. Which one is this? Call, okay, email. Kyra says email, but look at the information here. Email Anna Green on 15 September. Does it work? 15 September. She specifically reminds her to, okay, she told her to call or email by 12 September. So which one would apply? Go to the reception. You don't need to go to the reception. Call. 10 September is before 12 September. Right. So we'll choose that one. Call Anna Green on 10 September. That is before 12 September. Email Anna Green on 15 September. That is after 12 September. Tak layan dia. Okay, now finish. Right. So now these are the kind of tasks that you will find on Learn English British Council under the skills of reading. Practice them all. These are free resources. I would advise you to go through every one of them. Okay? Do them all and you will, inshallah, become way more proficient in your quest for upgrading your skills in English. Okay, complete the sentences. Another task. The main purpose of the email is to invite Grace for a job interview. The interview will be at their offices at the Shard. Okay. Susan Park is the head of sales. Anna Green is their human resources assistant. The job interview will last for about 45 minutes. Grace needs to show her ID to receive a visitor's pass. All the information appeared in the email just now. You need to read through and understand and check your understanding using these tasks. Okay, the task given here. 6 out of 6. Okay, so this is just one out of many. You can use any of the materials here. Okay, message to a new friend: read, understand, practice your reading skills. Email from a friend. Okay, that was email for a job interview. An email from a friend would sound differently. So read, practice your reading skills. An end of term report, reading a report would be different. Okay, practice your reading skills through this one. So many. Okay, so many materials that you can use on this. And this is only one level. This is only pre-intermediate level. You can go to the intermediate level. You can go to the beginner level. If you want to start at the beginning, beginner, finish beginner, go through pre-intermediate and then intermediate all the way to advanced. Okay, so let's see what kind of reading do we have in advanced. Okay. Okay. Since you are viewing on YouTube, I can't really do it with you. I'm showing it to you that you can use it on your own. Okay, go to this website, try every one of them. A biography, a threat to bananas, cultural behavior in business, 4 book summaries. This is advanced level reading. How humans evolved, managing a problem, state of the world, sustainable supermarkets. Okay, all the different reading materials that you can practice on. Okay. Of course, listening to me alone doesn't help you practice reading skills. Do this task, it will give you hands-on practices. Okay, right. Okay, so before we move on to listening, okay, let me show you the test that you can do. Right. Okay, technical, can we get the screen? Okay. Now, so in your free time later, you can try this. Okay, this is from the British Council itself. You saw it just now. Discover your current English level by taking our free online test. Okay, discover your level. Now, the one on, I will show you different tests for today. Okay, in the second session as well, I will introduce you to another one. This one from British Council only provides you with the multiple choice questions on, okay, language skills. Okay, so there's no listening skill here. Okay, there's no listening test here. So you have only the questions such as this. Okay, start the online level test. Start. Okay, choose the best word to complete the sentence. The baby boy saw himself in the mirror. Okay, you choose the answer and you have these to click as well. Are you sure? Not sure. Fairly sure. Certain. So you have already chosen the answer. Are you certain with your answer? If you're not very sure, fairly sure. If you're not sure at all, click on not sure. Now this is how the British Council test works. Okay. And if you are certain, click on certain. A lot of trains are running late today due to the heavy storms. Certain? Click on certain. Okay. There was a strong wind last night. Certain? Click on certain. Firstly, I want to congratulate you all. Secondly, I would like to wish you good luck. And finally, I hope you have enjoyed the course. Certain. You should clean your teeth twice a day. The children thought they were in danger when they saw the bull. Certain. Okay? Right. You can try this on your own. There are 25 questions here under learnenglish.britishcouncil.org. Okay? And it's fairly easy to gain the upper intermediate level for this test. Okay, question. Do we have any question on reading? I'm looking at the live chat. We have a bit of time left before the break. Oh, sorry. What if I read a storybook in the first few pages to know the gist of the story, then I skip to the end of the book? What kind of reading would that be? Okay, now that would be part of skimming, and that is how we skim a long text. Okay, so you're skimming through the content of the book by reading the first part and the last part, and normally you can get that from the synopsis. Okay, you can normally get that from the synopsis or the review even. Okay, so instead of flipping through the book itself, you can find a review of the book, or you can look at the synopsis in the back there. Okay, some of the short summary of the story that you're reading. But to do that, okay, if you're flipping through the first few pages and then flipping through the end, now that would risk what do you call that when you watch a movie? Now that would be a risk of spoiling the ending. If you don't mind that, sure, go ahead. Okay, if you don't mind spoilers, okay, looking through the end of the book, yes, you can do that. Right. But for some of us, or most of us, we would avoid spoilers, so we only flip through the first few pages to look at the direction of the story. What kind of story is this? Okay. But for reading articles, academic articles, yes. Academic articles, we would normally look through the whole thing, okay, from the introduction to the conclusion, skimming through, okay, to understand if the articles or the text would be something that would be reading for relevance in our study or in our working. Okay. Right. Now, before a bit more on reading, okay. So when you read something critically or when you read something intensively, okay. So when you read something critically or intensively, try using mind maps as well. Okay, so you note down, you detail down the things that you need to gather from the reading material. So make a note. Okay? You can make a mental note. Okay, start with a mental note, or you can write on a piece of paper. Or nowadays, since many of you are not using papers, okay, you can make a note on your devices. Okay, you have Google Keep Notes, you have anything, any app that you can use, make a note of what you have read to retain the information. Okay, especially when you start working, when you read reports, okay, there are details in the reports that you need to understand, so note them down. Right. And then what else? Okay, how would it help to understand? Okay, what would help you to understand better? Summarize what you have read. Okay, summarize what you have read, make it a shorter version, okay, so that you can refer to it and remember the details. Summarizing help, okay, which is why in any in Bahasa Melayu or in English class, you have ringkasan and summary. Okay, the skills that are being taught in schools and even at your level, at college level, university level, you still learn how to summarize. Okay, summarizing what you have read, make it shorter, make it brief notes. Okay, and paraphrase. Are you familiar with the concept of paraphrasing? Paraphrase means you rewrite what you have read in a way that you understand. Okay, you paraphrase, make it your own words. Okay, when you make your notes of your reading, okay, you paraphrase what you have read rewrite the information in your own words, in your own sentences. It helps you to retain the information better. Yeah. Okay. Right. So for reading, that would be as much, because for reading practices, I need you to try the exercises. Okay, that would work better for you. Instead of just me talking and showing you, you need to try it on. I used to hear about speed reading. So is it a good way to improve our reading style? If you want to use this technique, how we should apply it? Speed reading. Now, speed reading works for if you are reading storybooks. Okay, that would be fun. Okay, speed reading. But to obtain the level of speed reading that you can remember, okay, there was this speed reader. He held the world record for speed reading. Okay, he was he was in the Guinness, okay, Guinness Book of World Record as the fastest reader. And the most impressive thing about it was he could remember what he read. Okay, and how do speed readers do it? They compartmentalize. Okay, they scan. Okay, just like what we did just now, they scan for the information and commit to mind. Right, but to achieve that level would take time, of course. Okay, it would take years to practice, right? But for speed reading, for storybooks, yes, you can flip through. You can see people reading very fast. Okay, storybooks, they finish one page in like a few, less than a minute, and they can understand the story. Why? Because they are just skimming. Okay, skimming, and they can understand the way the story develops. What happens next? What happens next? Okay, what are the tragedies? What are the plot? Okay, who is the victim? Okay, who is involved? Okay, to remember it to that extent. But for academic reading, okay, academic reading, reading for your work, okay, speed reading would sometimes hinder your information, your understanding of the detail. Okay, the details that you need. Okay, you might miss out some of the points, and that would be critical. Okay, that would be quite dangerous, so to speak. So speed reading for fun, yes. Speed reading for critical reading, I wouldn't recommend it. Okay, how to use it, how to do speed reading, okay, you can find some of the videos on YouTube. They will teach you how to do speed reading. But like I said, try not to do it for academic reading. You might miss out some of the information. Okay. Right. So the technical has informed me that we will go on a break. After the break, we'll go through listening, which is quite a lot. Thank you very much, MC.
Thank you, Mr. Norhaizal, for the very informative talk regarding reading and listening. We will now take a 5-minute break. Everyone may freshen up or grab a party beer to quench your thirst. While you do that, look out for your names in our lucky drawers with Miss Auni. The floor is yours, Miss Auni.
Hi guys, welcome back to our very lucky draw session of the day. I hope you guys are still here with us. And without wasting our time, let's continue to find the lucky people for today. Before we start, I would like to remind that winners need to respond by replying in our Facebook and YouTube comment section, yeah? No response, no prize. So now let's take a breath and let the wheel spin. Eyes on the wheel. And the winner is Nur Alia Amira binti Muhammad Ikram. Please comment if you are present right now. Nur Alia Amira binti Muhammad Ikram 1. Nur Alia Amira binti Muhammad Ikram 2. Are you there, Nur Alia Amira? Nur Alia Amira binti Muhammad Ikram 3. Okay, no response from her. Okay, let's spin the wheel to find the next person. Okay, so this time the champion is Nur Ain Zawana binti Ahmad Rizwan. Please comment if you are present. Nur Ain Zawana binti Ahmad Rizwan 1. Nur Ain Zawana binti Ahmad Rizwan 2. Are you there? Nur Ain Zawana binti Ahmad Rizwan 3. Unfortunately, there is also no response. Okay, we can spin the wheel one more time. For this session, we will have three winners. You can comment on YouTube and also Facebook. Alright, this time it's Najmi Fikri bin Jamil 1, Najmi Fikri bin Jamil 2, Najmi Fikri bin Jamil 3, okay, maybe there is some lagging or something. I will read the name again. Najmi Fikri bin Jamil 1. Okay. Everyone, make sure you're please make sure you're stay tuned with us, and if your name comes out, just comment on our YouTube or Facebook comment section, yeah? Okay, one more time. All right, congratulations, Nordiana binti Abdul Jalil 1, Nordiana binti, okay, sorry, maybe for YouTube and Facebook, maybe it takes time. If you saw your name on the screen just now, you can just say that you were picked on the Telegram. Okay, congratulations. Now the winner is Kwan Wan Git. All right, Kwan Wan Git. Please respond if you're here. I heard that for Facebook and YouTube today they are lagging, so we will give some time. Kwan Wan Git 2. Kwan Wan Git, I hope you're there. Hopefully you can respond if you see this. All right, you already responded in Telegram. Congratulations. Now, okay, let's spin the wheel and find the second winner for today. For this morning's lucky draw session, we will have three winners. Okay, congratulations, Zohaib Hassan Sain. Zohaib Hassan Sain 2. Please leave your response or comment when you see this. Okay, Zohaib Hassan Sain. If you hear this and when you see your name, please leave your response. Our team has informed that there has been not a problem, but it lagged for YouTube and Facebook. So, okay. Unfortunately, no response. So we're gonna spin one last time for this morning. Okay. Let's hope your name are chosen this time. We have a winner. Congratulations, Nurul Atira binti Muhammad Shukri. Nurul Atira binti Muhammad Shukri too. Okay, we are waiting for your response in our Telegram group, and we're also looking at YouTube comment section on and also Facebook comment section. But don't be disappointed if you were not chosen. There is another lucky draw session this evening. And yeah, I wish you luck for the next lucky draw session. I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Hello and welcome back, fellow wizards and witches. We are now going to continue our first session with Mr. Norhaizal Ramley regarding to read is to listen. Take it away, Mr. Norhaizal.
All right, thank you, Miss MC. Okay, back again for the next session, which is the last slot for today. All right. Oh, what happened there? I was adjusting my camera. Okay. All right, so we have covered the reading skills. Now we are going to look at the listening part. Okay. Listening part of your communication skills. Yeah. Let's try to cover as much as possible. Oh my god. This is killing my throat. Okay, so as mentioned, okay, reading and listening would apply somewhat the same skills, okay, because they are both on the input level. Okay, reading is input, listening is also input. Okay, reading would be input that you get from your reading materials, papers or electronic. But for listening, excuse me, for listening, you might be getting your stimulants, okay, the listening materials, the audio from speakers in your presence or even from recorded materials, okay, electronic. So it may be, so when it comes to listening, there are several things that we need to consider. Like right now we are using the electronic medium, so the interference might be on the technical glitches, okay, on connection connectivity, so on and so forth. But even face to face, there are interference as well. Okay, face to face in communication would be adhered by interference. Okay, like what? Okay, there are several things that we need to consider in listening skills. Okay, now let's look at the listening skills and the importance. Okay, the listening skills and the importance. Okay, this apply to you as students, it applies to you as a working person, okay, it applies in your daily life as well. Okay, so listening skills that you need to uh, incorporate, okay, the listening skills that you need to have, you need to develop would be, the first one would be attitude. Okay, attitude toward listening. So what is your attitude towards listening to the person, to the materials? Okay, if you are forced to listen, okay, I'm not sure about this session today. Okay, I hope you this is you doing it willingly. Okay, so the attitude towards listening, so you need to sit through a meeting, you need to sit through a lecture. So what is your attitude towards that session? Okay, attention. Okay, your attention towards listening, how focused are you? Okay, How focused? How much attention are you paying? How much attention are you giving to the speaker, to the listening materials? It doesn't have to be a speaker in front of you. It can be whatever that you listen to on podcasts or maybe on recorded lectures. So, how much attention are you giving? Adjusting, adjusting yourself to the listening materials, adjusting yourself to the speakers. Face the speaker, okay? Facing the speaker. Now, it may amaze you that facing the speaker is the same as facing the screen. Okay? Even if it is a recorded material, but when you are listening while doing something else, multitasking, so to speak, kan? Okay, so they say multitasking. But if you are listening, for example, if when you turn on the TV and you listen to the news instead of watching the news. You're just listening while doing something. Okay? The attention has been divided. Your attention has been divided. You're not really focusing on the news. So there might be some details that you miss out. So face the speaker, face the screen. Okay? Face the speaker if the speaker is right in front of you. Face the screen if the listening is in electronic media. You are watching something, you still need to face it. Use your mind. Use your mind. What does it mean? Okay, Muhammad Ahmad. We are listening willingly, sir. Alhamdulillah. Okay. Yeah, I'm just throwing some questions at you. Okay, use your mind. When you say use your mind, okay, do not wander off. Okay, has that ever happened to you? You are sitting in a lecture hall listening to the lecture, but your mind is somewhere else. Your mind dah balik kampung. Your mind is thinking about something else. Okay, use your mind. When you listen, use your mind. Involve your mind. Okay? So you don't just listen, masuk telinga kanan, keluar telinga kiri. Okay? Process the information that you receive through your auditory organs. Okay? Don't interrupt. Do not interrupt. Okay? Do not interrupt when somebody is speaking so that you may listen carefully. Right? Okay. So if you need to ask questions, you wait until there is a gap in the speech. Okay, whether there is the person has already stopped talking or he has finished delivering his point. Now you can interrupt, not interrupt. You can ask questions. Okay, you can clarify. Okay, to ensure your understanding. Okay, so you ensure your understanding by clarifying, ask questions. Okay, ask questions about the topic. Okay, raise some issue regarding the topic. So the person, the speaker may clarify when it is face to face. Okay, but if it is a recorded material, you are listening to recorded materials, how do you ensure understanding? You can always repeat. Okay, you can always rewind, repeat the part that you miss out and listen again to ensure understanding. Or you can always check, okay, check the details, check the data, check the fact. Okay, be empathetic. Okay, empathy, not sympathy. Empathy, be empathetic towards the speaker. Okay, what is his position in the topic? Okay, what is his stand in the issue? So you be empathetic, understand his position, understand his stance. Give a regular feedback. Give regular feedback when it comes to face-to-face communication in listening skills. You are listening and you give regular feedback. How do you give regular feedback? Okay, we're going to look at that as well. How do you give feedback when somebody is speaking? Something as simple as nodding. Okay, non-verbal feedback. You have verbal feedback, non-verbal feedback. We'll look at that. Okay, now types of listening skills for effective communication. We are going to touch on three: active listening, passive listening, and effective listening. Active, passive. Can you listen passively? Active listening, yes, we always encourage that, active listening. But can you listen passively? Yes, you can, and it works as well in certain situations. Effective listening, and that's another one. We'll touch on it one by one. Okay, now in active listening, what is active listening? So when it comes to active listening, you focus completely on the speaker. Okay, the ability to focus completely on a speaker. Now you are attending a kind of lecture, so you can focus completely on the speaker because there is nothing else on the screen. You can only see me and the screen there, the slide there. Okay, so you focus completely on the speaker, understand the message, comprehend the information. See the distinction between the two. You understand the message and then you comprehend the information. What information are we sharing? And you respond thoughtfully. Okay, you can respond on the chat there if you want wish to. This highly valued interpersonal communication skill ensures the ability to engage and later recall specific details. Okay? When you are part of the conversation, you are part of the communication, it helps you to engage yourself and it helps to recall the details without needing information to be repeated. Like I said just now, if it is recorded, yes, you can repeat. But if it is live, okay, ongoing communication face to face, you may not want to ask the person to repeat again and again just to help you understand. So you focus completely. Okay, active listening. Okay, so we are now engaging in that. We are doing that now. We are listening actively. Right. Okay. Now, active listeners often use verbal and non-verbal techniques to show and keep their attention on the speaker. How do we do that? Okay, and why do we do that? Okay, so it supports the ability to stay focused. Like I said just now, if you turn on the television, okay, the news is on, but you're not really focusing on the news, it doesn't really get through. You hear it, but you don't listen. Hearing is not the same as listening. Okay, you get what I mean? You hear, but you don't listen. There is sound coming into your ear, but there's nothing that you understand because it's merely sound, bunyi saja. Okay, the message doesn't get through. Okay, so you ensure the speaker can see the engagement level of the listener at the moment. Okay, by actively listening, you ensure the speaker can see the engagement level of the listener at the moment. Okay, so now I can't really see you. Okay, I can't see you, okay, your non-verbal cues or anything. I can only see your comments. Yes, listen is when you give focus. Okay, so when you just turn on the TV, you hear the news, you don't really focus, so you're not really listening. Okay, so now I can't see you, your non-verbal cues, so I can only pray that you are listening. Okay, active listeners, and maybe I can see some of your chat comment there. Okay, active listeners carefully consider the speaker's words and commits the information straight to the memory. Since you are actively listening, okay, it will happen naturally. You understand and you commit to memory. It goes deep into your mind. Okay, you understand, you consider, and you commit to memory. Okay, why is active listening important? Okay, why do you need to actively listen? Okay, take for instance, you and your group. Okay, you are in a discussion with your group members or your class, or you're speaking to your lecturers. Okay, so it helps to build connections. Active listening help others feel comfortable sharing information with you. If you're not paying attention, the other person would feel neglected. Huh? So it's he or she would feel irrelevant. Why am I talking to this person? He's not even listening. Okay, so active listening help others feel comfortable sharing information with you, so you get more. If you're not actively listening, it will just drive by. The information will just drive by. Okay, when you demonstrate your ability to sincerely listen to the others, people will be more interested in communicating with you on a regular basis. How many of you here are the type of person that people would look for when they want to share something? Yeah, I have something to tell you. Ada cerita. I have something to share with you. Okay. If people look for you to share anything, to tell you stories, it means they value you as something, as someone who would actually listen. It takes skills. Some people just brush off others. They don't really care. They're not really interested. But some people, they would pay attention when somebody is sharing something. I think many of you here would have that trait, the skills that people would feel compelled to share with you. Apa-apa mesti nak cerita. Okay? So helps to open up opportunities to collaborate with others. Right. So when you are that type of person who pays attention, who actively listen, people would be willing to collaborate with you. Okay? And work gets done quickly, and you can start on new projects. Okay? Because the communication is smooth. It runs both ways. Okay? You listen and you speak. You speak and you listen. Okay? Somebody else speak, you listen. Okay? When you speak, they would listen as well. Right? So active listening would drive towards that. Open up opportunities to collaborate with others. People like working with you. Okay? When you go into the working world, okay, this would help a lot. You need to work on a project, you can't do it alone, so you need a team to help you. And you, as a member of the team, need to build this connection through what? Through your listening skills. Now, second one helps to build trust. Active listening helps others to trust you better. So when people feel they can speak freely to you without any interruptions, okay, keyword there, judgment or unwelcome interjections, they'll be more likely to confide in you. Any of you here who like to interrupt when people are speaking? Nak mencelah aja. Okay? So when somebody speak and you interrupt, it doesn't promote good communication. Interruption is one thing, and then you pass judgment pula. Okay, you pass judgment or you give unwelcome interjections. Eleh. Right. So those are interjections, unwelcome interjections. Those are some examples lah. Okay. So when people feel that they can speak freely without interruptions, okay, that would help foster communication. In meeting new people, active listening helps to develop a positive relationship. Has it ever occurred to you? The first time you speak to this person, sebab dia jenis nak dia je bercakap. Okay? The first time you speak to this person, he is the one always budding in the conversation that you don't feel like talking to this person anymore. Okay? You would avoid any interaction with this person. You would find somebody else who would actively participate or let you participate in the conversation. Okay, think about it. So, active listening helps to identify and solve problems. Okay. When you listen carefully, attentively, and you put focus in, active listening helps you to see the key of the communication. Barulah jumpa benda apa. Actively listening to others will help you to detect the obstacles or challenges easily. You're in a discussion. So what is the issue? What is the problem? What are the things that you need to tackle? Okay, so you understand clearly. Discover the difficulties that others are facing or even identify the problems within certain tasks. If you don't listen, you don't understand, and the problem doesn't get solved. The faster you are able to spot these issues, the sooner you can brainstorm a solution. Okay, you understand the issue now. Okay, what are we going to do about it? Okay, how are we going to resolve this? How are we going to solve the problem? Okay, active listening helps you towards that. Okay, it helps to increase your knowledge and understanding of various topics as well. Great people are always keen to learn something new. and broaden their knowledge base. How many of you have actually watched TED Talks? TED, TED Talks. A lot of great topics, so many great speakers. Okay, so you can try listening to TED Talks or Toastmasters even. If you join the Toastmasters club, okay, that's good. Okay, but TED Talks, there are many different topics that you can listen to. So when you listen carefully, it helps to increase your knowledge and understanding of various topics. Right? So many of you enjoy TED Talks, right? Okay, I love TED Talks. I subscribe to it. So you can subscribe to TED Talks and abundance of topics, and it helps you to look at the way they present as well, okay, the way they speak. Okay, you can mimic that. You can learn how to speak like they do, and you can learn to listen at the same time. Right? It works both ways. Listening to learn, learning to listen. Right? Okay. Now, yes, many great speakers, Zulaika. Okay, now, when trying to actively listen, like I said, okay, you have barriers, okay, you have hindrance, other problem, okay. There are things that would hinder your listening, okay, face to face or even through electronic media. Electronic media, we know the connectivity problem and all, but face to face, there are things that would be barriers as well. Like what? First one, the top, okay, you can see inadequate language base. Inadequate language base. Okay, we're not just talking about English. Okay, so as learners of English as second language, okay, you use English as second language. Okay, so there might be words that you don't understand. But even in Bahasa Melayu, okay, even in Bahasa Melayu, if you go into the academic settings, okay, ruang lingkup akademik, akademia, Bahasa Melayu, there might be words that would puzzle you. Apa yang profesor ni cakap, right? So, inadequate language base, why is that? Because we have different specialties. Okay, different specialties, different subspecialties, different disciplines. Okay, disiplin-disiplin ilmu yang berbeza. For example, okay, I'm not an ustaz. So if I go into a lecture on religion, when they use the terms, okay, in Islamic terms, for example, okay, we are Muslim, we speak Malay, they speak Malay as well, but there are some things that we might miss on the points that ada benda yang kita tak faham. So in English, okay, since we are learners of English as second language, inadequate language base, we don't have enough vocabulary to capture the information. That would be a barrier to listening. What is he saying? I don't understand. I need to check the dictionary, those kind of things. Okay, so increase your vocabulary. Not just in English, like I said, Bahasa Melayu even. Okay, Bahasa Melayu, when they talk, when they are speaking in scientific terms even, they use Bahasa Melayu, but there are things that we may not understand. Okay, so language base, increase your vocabulary in the intended language. Partial listening. Partial listening. When the listener choose what to hear. Okay, they only listen to what they want to listen to. They're a bit prejudiced. Okay, partial listening. So this part they would take in, another part they would filter. Dah ditapis awal-awal. So partial listening. So that would be a barrier to active listening. You have to listen as a whole, listen completely, understand and comprehend the whole message, not just a part of it. Lack of interest. Lack of interest. The topic doesn't interest you at all. It is irrelevant to you. Okay, you're not interested in it. You have no, you have, you don't see a purpose to listening to the topic. So lack of interest would be a barrier to your active listening. For example, I am not into football. Truth be told, I'm not into football. So if you talk to me about the World Cup, or Piala Malaysia, Liga Super or anything, I'm not interested. Okay, so I don't understand much about football. Okay, so when they talk about football, I would move myself away from the conversation. Okay, it's not something that I would find interest in, and it's not something that I have knowledge in. Okay, something as simple as that. Bola je pun, bola sepak. But I have no knowledge of it and I have no interest of it. So that would be a barrier to active listening. Masuk tinggal kanan, keluar tinggal kiri. I don't even know who the players of Malaysia are now. Okay, prejudgment. Okay, prejudgment on the topic or prejudgment on the speaker. Okay, it's a great topic, it's a good topic, but you prejudge the speaker. You don't like the speaker, you don't like the person talking about the topic. Okay, prejudgment. So that will be a barrier to active listening. What happen is you go to partial listening. You only listen to the points that you can relate to, and you ignore the others. Negativity towards speaker. Okay, now that relates to prejudgment as well. Diffidence. Okay, diffidence. Do you know the meaning of diffidence? How do I explain this? Okay, shyness. Okay, you are shy. Okay, or you have no confidence in the topic. Okay, you have no confidence. Tadi, you have no interest, lack of interest in the topic, nothing, zero. Diffidence, you are not confident in the topic at hand. Okay, you lack confidence or you are shy about the topic, so that is a barrier as well. Intolerance, okay, intolerance, you have your attitude towards the topic, you have your stand towards the topics. Okay, so you don't tolerate other ideas. Okay? Intolerance towards different ideas. Okay? Deep-rooted beliefs. Deep-rooted beliefs. Nobody can change what you believe of the topic. For example, the flat earthers, flat earth society. Okay, flat earth, bumi ini lepir. Okay, so whatever information, whatever points that you deliver about the world being a globe, okay, will not interest them. They have these deep-rooted beliefs that the world is flat. The bumi ini lepir. So you can't convince them otherwise. So that will be a barrier to active listening. Whatever proof, whatever evidence, whatever scientific findings you show them will not change their belief. That is one example only. So we have the flat earthers, we have the anti-vaccine, okay? So they have their beliefs. Whatever you say to them, whatever you present to them will not change their beliefs. Okay, that would be barriers to active listening. Okay, you get what I mean? Are barriers different from noise? Okay, these are all what we call noise. Okay, in linguistic term, okay, in linguistic term, when we say noise, okay, noise is not just the noise as in physical noise. These are all noise. Semua ni adalah noise in terms of linguistic. Inadequate language base, tak cukup pembendaharaan kata, not enough vocabulary, that will be noise as well. Lack of interest, prejudgment, negativity. Negativity is also noise. Okay, diffidence is also noise. Intolerance is also noise. Deep-rooted beliefs would be noise as well. Okay, so these are all noise. When it's physical, for example, electronic or anything, so the noise and everything, the buzzing, there will be noise. Now these are all psychological barriers, okay, psychological noise lah, so to speak. So you need to work around this noise. Okay, you need to suppress the noise. Okay, how to become an active listener? Verbal active listening skills. Okay, how to become an active listener? Verbal active listening skills. Remember what we did in reading just now? Okay, what we did in reading applies to listening as well. You paraphrase. You paraphrase the information, summarize the main points of the message to show you fully understand the message. Okay, once you paraphrase or you summarize, oh, so you mean this and this. Okay, am I understanding it correctly? This and this. So you can clarify, paraphrase and summarize and clarify. Ask open-ended questions. You can ask open-ended questions to the speaker. Ask to get additional information rather than just a yes or no answer. Okay, open-ended. So the speaker will explain more or give more elaboration. Ask specific probing questions. Okay, ask specific probing questions. Ask direct questions to get more details about the information they have shared or narrow down a broad topic. What are you looking for? What are you asking for? Specific. Okay. Use short verbal affirmations. Okay, short verbal affirmations. Speaker feels more comfortable when you show that you are engaged to the conversation. What kind of short verbal affirmations are we talking about? Yes, I see that. Okay. Yeah, I agree. I see your point. Okay, short verbal affirmations. Display empathy. Recognize the speaker's emotions. Remember what we talked about in speaking yesterday and writing as well. Okay, so he's talking about the flood situation. So recognize the speaker's emotions. He is asking for your donation. He is asking for your assistance or help or your support in his quest. So recognize the speaker's emotions. Share similar experiences. You share similar experiences, builds relationships and rapport. Okay, what kind of experience can you share? Okay, recall previously shared information. Okay, remember the key concepts, ideas, or other critical points the speaker has shared with you. Right? Try to do this. Verbal active listening skills. Now, the non-verbal active listening skills, nodding. Okay, so you nod. You may not be able to interact with the speaker. For example, the TED Talks that you watch there, okay, you can see the audiences. The audiences do not interact with the speaker, but they can show the non-verbal responses. Can nod, shows understanding of their speech. Yes, nodding, agreeing. Smile. Smiling helps the speaker, believe me. Okay, when you smile, the speaker feels more confidence. It communicates that you agree with their message or you are happy about what they have to say. Okay, so a smile would help the speaker a long way. Avoid distracted movements. Avoid movements like glancing at your watch or phone. Asyik tengok jam je. Okay, phone. Right? So imagine talking to your friend and this friend keeps looking at the phone. Okay, audibly sighing, sigh, mengeluh. Okay, doodling or tapping a pen. Now this would be distraction. Okay, this will be distraction in the conversation. Okay, maintain eye contact. Always keep your eyes on the speaker and avoid looking at other people or objects in the room. Maintain eye contact. The speaker can see you. Come on, the speaker can actually see you. Okay, maintain eye contact. Avoid the distracting movements there. Okay, looking at your watch all the time. Imagine the speaker is speaking in front, and these people, okay, many of them keeps looking at their watch or the phone. Okay, is the lecture boring or are they rushing somewhere? So that would be nerve-wracking to the speaker. Okay, passive listening. Tadi active listening, now passive listening. What is passive listening? I have to rush through a bit. What's the time now? Okay. Passive listening, listening to the speaker during the communication, but in an unconscious manner. Okay, just now it was actively listening. Now you are passively listening. Usually the listener sits quietly without responding to the speaker. Okay, the listener sits quietly without responding to the speaker. Silent and patient listening. Passive listening, but you are still paying attention, wherein the listener neither interrupts nor participates in the conversation. The focus is there, okay, but the listener doesn't participate, doesn't interrupt, okay, but still keeping the focus. This is what we like about passive listening there. Okay, passive listeners are present physically, but they may not be paying attention to the speaker's speech. The message is not absorbed by the listeners. He or she may not be able to recall it in the future. Okay. Causes of passive listening are tiredness, exhaustion, multitasking, doing something else. This happens nowadays in the time of MCO here, where we have to attend meetings and then have to work on something at the same time, and the meetings are online. Okay, so we rarely participate or engage in the meeting session itself. We are doing something else because nobody sees what we do on the computer. I think some of you do that as well. When you attend your lecture online, when you attend your lecture and it is being held online, you do something else as well. Okay, disinterest, ill health. Okay, listener is just listening to the words but not the message. Now, pros of passive listening. Okay, the pros of passive listening, some of the good points there: interpersonal skills. When you're not speaking over someone, it is considered as a sign of respect. Oh, tak mengganggu, tak mencela. So when you're not speaking over someone, it is considered as a sign of respect. Helps you build rapport with your colleagues. Meaning, you don't interrupt. Listen without reacting to everything they say. You keep it cool. In situation where you don't have to respond or react, passive listening will come in handy. Yeah. There are situations where you are not required to respond or react. You just have to be there and get the information and bring it back to the office or something. For example, meetings. Passive listening will come in handy. Effective communication. Passive listening helps you to overcome communication barriers. Okay, it's a more objective form of listening. Free from bias, you are not expected to share your views. So it's more of a one-way communication. Okay, you are listening and not just hearing the words. You are still considered as present in the conversation, even though you don't fully understand the situation. Like I said, it's more of a one-way communication. You just absorb the information only. No reaction, no response. Observation skills. When you are not listening actively, you observe other things better. Teaches how to pay attention to detail, and you make accurate observations. So you can see some things clearer. Okay? And you may notice how the speaker moves. Right? Some people would incorporate both active and passive listening. So you notice how the speaker moves. Okay? Whether he is fidgeting. Okay, the speaker looks nervous. Their facial expressions and body language towards the context of their speech. And some people can even detect false pretense. Okay? False information. It seems like he is not really sure about the information. Could he be lying? Uh, if you watch the mentalist and all, okay, these are the things that they observe. How some people have, they show, okay, these traits when they lie. The cons of passive listening: reduce work performance. Okay? Your work performance may be affected if you are passively listening to what you need to do. You need to actively listen to understand what you need to do. Okay? Imagine attending a conference but you are distracted all the way. Always distracted. Attending a conference but you are doing something else. You won't be able to retain any important points that could help you in your work. Okay, so the conference was all for nothing for you. Passive listening requires little to no effort on your part, making you tend to take things lightly. Leaves a bad impression. Sometimes when you don't respond to someone, it can leave a bad impression. No response whatsoever. Okay? Disinterest, okay? Lack of focus. Imagine your manager is talking to you about something significant and you are only half present in the conversation. Your mind is somewhere else. This will likely give them the impression that you are not serious about your work. Careful with that. And you miss out on important information. Okay, passive listening can make you miss important details of the speech. Right? So be careful whether you are doing active listening or passive listening. Okay? So how to improve your passive listening skill? You can do this, of course. Focus. Turn off your electronics. Put your phone away. Put it in your pocket. Put it in your bag. Turn off your electronics and try to concentrate on the speaker. It can be a cause of distractions. Phone calls, emails, and text messages can wait. Okay, you can always return calls. You can reply to emails later, and you can respond to text messages when you get the hang of it. Okay, position. Face the speaker. Sit in a position that tells the speaker you are ready to listen. Limit your body movement. Okay, silence. Okay, reply silently with a nod or say, "Tell me more." Lean in. Leaning in tells the speaker that you are truly engaged with the subject. Okay, this is leaning in as opposed to laying back in a meeting, for example. So you either lean in or you lean back. Okay, when you lean back, it shows disinterest. Okay, so it enables speaker to feel calm, relaxed, and express him or herself even more openly. Okay, now the last one. Effective listening. What is effective listening? Actively absorbing the information given to you by a speaker, showing that you are listening and interested, and providing feedback to the speaker. Okay, so actively absorb, show that you listen and are interested, and provide feedback. And it shows the speakers that they have been heard and understood. And it requires both deliberate efforts and a keen mind. Okay, you need to put effort into effective listening and a keen mind. Your mind has to be there, interested and focused. Effective listeners appreciate the flow of new ideas and information. Okay, those of you who enjoy TED Talks there, I'm sure this is your traits. Okay, you appreciate the flow of new ideas and information. Absorb, absorb, and absorb like a sponge. It promotes and encourages organizational relationships, product delivery, and innovation. Deal with the diversity in the audience. Right. So characteristics of a good and effective listener: attentive. Somebody who is attentive must pay attention to the key points, should be alert and avoid any kind of distraction. Another characteristic: do not assume. Always summarize the speaker's ideas and avoid premature judgments about the message. Listen first. Okay? Conclude later. Listen for feelings and facts. Deliberately listens for the feelings of the speaker regarding the topic. Okay, concentrates on the facts. Okay, the factual data. Evaluates the facts objectively. Sympathetic, alert, and active listening. You observe the gestures, the facial expressions, and the body language as well. Okay, and the next one, concentrate on the other speakers kindly and generously. Okay, you concentrate on the other speakers, let's say in a discussion. So you give a chance to other speakers to also express their thoughts and views. And you learn from every speaker. Have you set for your MUET? Okay, now this is the skill that we look for in MUET. Not just your speaking skill, also your listening and this skill here, where you give a chance to other speakers to speak as well. Okay, so if you speak very well, but you don't listen that well, and you don't give a chance to other speakers to participate, you may get a low score on your MUET. Okay, MUET is about communication, not just about speaking. Right? Give a chance to other speakers to also express their thoughts and views. And opportunities, take benefit from the opportunities rising. Always ask, what is it? What is in it for me? Okay. So when you get the topics there, how does this topic relate to you? Okay. How does it benefit you? Okay. So the 10 steps to effective listening: face the speaker and maintain eye contact, be attentive but relaxed, keep an open mind, listen to words and try to picture what the speaker is saying. Okay, mental picture. Do not interrupt and do not impose your own solutions until it is your turn. in a discussion. Okay. Wait for the speaker to pause to ask clarifying questions. Okay. You ask questions only to ensure understanding. Uh, some people ask questions to show that they know better. Has that ever happened to you? People asking questions to undermine the speaker saja, okay? To show that they are cleverer, to show that they know more than the speaker. So you ask questions to ensure understanding, not to belittle somebody, not to undermine someone. Okay, try to feel what the speaker is feeling, give the speaker regular feedback again, and pay attention to what is not said, the non-verbal cues, the verbal expression, the facial expression, the gestures, the movement. Okay, right. Okay. So these are the things about listening that you need to practice. Now before that, okay, now let's go back to the page just now. I'm going to share with you the listening practice that you can use. Okay, hold on, technical. Okay, now, as I showed you earlier, okay, you have the reading just now, and this is also the listening. You can practice listening on this website as well. Okay, so go to listening skills and choose your level. Let's try pre-intermediate again. How do you do this? Okay, so a morning briefing. You can start with that one. A morning briefing. Listen to a morning briefing to practice and improve your listening skills. What kind of information do you need to listen to? Right. So always start with the preparation. Okay, the internet is lagging. Okay, match the words with the definitions here. What is a short meeting? To give information and updates. A briefing. What is a job? A position. A person who will take the place of another one. A replacement. To make something better. Make improvements. A way of dealing with a difficult situation or problem. Solution. To start or begin something. To introduce. Okay, finish. Right, done with that. Now, this is the audio for the transcript here. Right, so you are going to listen to the briefing, okay, morning briefing. Right.
This recording is from the British Council.
Hi everyone. I know you're all busy, so I'll keep this briefing quick. I have some important information about a change in the management team. As you already know, our head of department, James Watson, is leaving his position at the end of this week. His replacement is starting at the end of the next month. In the meantime, we'll continue with our projects as usual. I have two more quick points. Firstly, there will be some improvements made to the staff car park next month for a few weeks. It will be closed during that time.
Right, so you have your audio and you have your transcript. You can use both, okay, to your benefit. Okay, and comes the task there. Okay, check your understanding. Okay, so practice your listening skills through these tasks. Okay, check your understanding. Okay, is it correct? What you understand is correct from the briefing there. The briefing will be short this morning. The new head of department is starting this week. Okay, if you get all this correct, meaning you have developed your listening skills. You're listening to morning briefing, so try to answer this. All right. And there will be other materials as well. Yeah. An invitation to a party. So you will have phone messages there. Changing a meeting time. You will hear two colleagues arranging a meeting. Changing plans. Okay, you will hear a conversation between two people. Facts and figures. For conversations, instructions for an assignment, leaving a message, missing a class. These are all the listening tasks that you will experience in your real working life or study life. So try to do this. Okay, practice your listening skills. Question. Okay, Akmal says, I will listen more if it's about party. Right. Okay. Right. So you can practice all these materials. Okay. Try to use every one of them. And I assure you that these are all free. You don't have to pay for it. Okay. Now, any question on listening? Of course, there are more things about listening that you can try to get your hands on. Okay. Try to practice your the most important thing is when you are in the real life communication, okay, speaking in a group, speaking to a person, so you will need to practice interpersonal skills as well. Okay, interpersonal skills would incorporate all of them: listening, speaking, okay, and writing as well. Okay. Right. Now, somebody mentioned that they were wondering how to gauge their level of English, okay, to gauge their level of reading and listening. Okay, now this is a test that I'm going to introduce to you. Okay, just now I showed you the British Council test. British Council test is more on the language knowledge. Okay, we call it LK, language knowledge only. Okay, so you choose the words and you choose the structure of the sentence that would sound correct, that would be correct. Okay, and okay, I regularly do that. Okay, so you can try it on your own. And just to post with you, okay, this morning I did it again, and I achieved 100% for that one. Now this one, on the other hand, this is another test that you can try on your own, but this one, this is the one that we use now. Okay, just to gauge our students level. Now it's a bit slow there. All right, okay, so you should be able to see it. Okay, EF set, simple address there, efset.org. Efset.org. This has been developed by the organization, and you can try to use it. Again, it's free. Okay, the first free standardized English test online. Okay, test your English now, and you will get the result immediately. Okay, but the catch about this is after you finish your test, they will ask for your name and your email address and your phone number if you're willing to give. If not, just give your name and your email address only. Okay, doesn't matter. They are just going to send you some information about education. Okay, so they will send you the emails regarding some education program or something after you have completed this. Okay, test your English now. You can go through this now. So you have these two tests. Okay. 15 minutes quick check your English level. 15-minute easy one, or the 15-minute EF set. So certify your English proficiency. So which one are you going for? You can choose any one of these. Okay. Results fully aligned with CFR levels. Get a personalized EF set certificate. You might have to pay for this one, but for this one is free. You take the quiz. 15-minute quick check. What I like about these tests, efset.org, is they test both your reading and listening skills. They are the reading and they are the listening skills. Take the quiz. Okay, it's 15 minutes only, but we'll try to do it in 5 minutes. Boleh tak? Let's try that. Okay, with good connection comes good connectivity. Okay, choose the word or phrase that best completes each sentence. Okay, understand the instruction correctly. Choose the word or phrase that best completes each sentence. She arrived at 8 p.m., opened the door and shouted, good. We're talking about 8 p.m. Good evening. Okay, you don't meet somebody and say good night. You say good night as goodbye, go to sleep. I decided to put the table against the wall of the living room so that it would be out of the way. Okay. The sold out tickets made it clear that the speaker we invited to our charity event was extremely popular. Okay. So quickly do this. They've been married for over 50 years. The day she first fell for him, Kang thought the spicy tofu dish was tasty, so he ordered it again. Especially greatest achievement. Carl will do things for purely selfish reasons. Where Mr. Dean's assistant will be able to book him into the hotel. He's heartened about the team's prospects. Optimistic. Okay. Right. So done with that. After you finish the language set, okay, reading and language set, you will hear 10 speakers here. Okay, you have 10 questions. Play.
Speaker 1. Where did you get your skirt from?
Can play again.
Speaker 1. Where did you get your skirt from?
I bought it in a charity shop last week. Okay, so you can try this EF set. Okay, the British Council, the EF set, this one, and you can also install English Score, the English Score on your phone. That is app. They don't have it in web-based app. It's Android app or Apple app. Yeah, I don't use iPhone. I don't know Apple app. So you can try those. Okay, so learn English EF set, and there is also BBC. Okay, bbc.co.uk learning English. This is another one that I would advise, I would recommend. Okay, bbc.co.uk/learning English, and you can go into all the abundance of materials. Business, under business, there are so many different materials that you can use. Okay, try to use these materials. Okay, they are all free, and there are many apps as well. You can try Elsa on your phone. Okay, Elsa is fun because you can use the audio. Okay, you can you can speak, and Elsa will gauge your pronunciation. 100% excellent native life. Okay, you can try Elsa as well. ELSA, like the name of the character in Disney's cartoon. Okay, all right. So it's the end of my session. So good luck and Godspeed. Okay, for those of you who will be future leaders of the world. Okay, future leaders of our country here. Okay, so you will be involved in the working environment soon. Okay, as you graduate, you will join the workforce and you will participate actively. Okay, so what you can do is try to build yourself, okay, upskill, develop yourself. Okay, do as many things that you can possibly do. Okay, get involved. Okay, task yourself with challenge yourself every day. Okay, challenge yourself with the things that you can do. If you have excelled in something, now take on something else, take on another challenge and then another challenge and another challenge. Okay, try to be a person who is multitask is one thing. Okay, but adapt to doing different tasks. Okay, so you may not be only asked to do one thing only in your working environment. In your job you have the specific job description, but there are also other tasks that you might have to take on. Okay, so build yourself. Okay, build yourself and you will be valued anywhere you go. Okay, all right, so that would be all from me. Thank you very much, Uniza, for this opportunity to share as much as I can in this short time. Inshallah. Okay, if you need to contact me, you can find me on social media. You can find me Norhaizal Ramley on Facebook, or you can always ask the organizer how to contact me personally. Okay, so I bid you good luck and inshallah, okay, the future will be bright for all of you. Okay, back to the MC.
Ladies and gentlemen, enchanters and enchanter, we are done with our first session for today. It is in high hope that everyone has gained more knowledge about reading and listening. Thank you very much to Mr. Norhaizal Ramli for sharing to us the knowledge that uh, he can. Okay, so for now, um, we would like to invite Mr. Norhaizal Ramli again on stage to have a photography session. So can we welcome Mr. Noizal and the others? All right. So while waiting, I will do the countdown and please be ready by then. Hold your poses in for a few seconds. All right. Okay. So it's just three of us. All right. Three, two, one, smile. Three, two, one, cheese. All right. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Noizal and the others for joining us in the photography session. So I would like to remind everyone again to fill in the form given in the comment section for the use of attendance certificate and lucky draw. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, with that, we have ended our second slot for today. All right. Okay. All right. So before we proceed with our mini game, I would like to announce that we will have a surprise present for two of our most active participants. The two participants that is the lucky one would be Sarah Fadilah and also Nahdatu Khoria. So do contact Anis Fatihah in our Telegram group to redeem your prizes. Be sure to contact Anis Fatihah, okay? So now it is time for the mini game that will be conducted by the House of Ravenclaw, who by the way is leading in the House Cup this year. Therefore, I call upon the captain and co-captain of this house, Miss Auni and Miss Farshamira, to host the session. Take it away, girls.
Thank you, Miss Iza. Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. We are from the Ravenclaw House, the greatest house of all times. My name is Norfar Shamira and this is Wan Najida Auni.
Hi guys, I'm Amni.
And we'll be your host for today. The mini game we are going to play today is Bingo Sentences. We'll explain all of you on how you should play this game first, okay?
Okay, first of all, every participant needs to make a 5 times 5 finger box, just like what we have shown on the box, on the slide. Sorry. Then a specific theme would be given so that you could predict what kind of verb would be mentioned in the game later. And we will give a list of 50 verbs that are related to the theme, and each participant needs to choose only 25 verbs to fill in the boxes that you made. Next, we will read texts that are based on the theme, and each time you hear a word that is on your bingo card, you need to mark the word.
Okay, so when the markers line up to make a complete row horizontal, vertical, or diagonal, you can type bingo in the chat box or telegram. So the round continues until the time's up or all the lists of verbs are called out. The participants that marked the most bingo wins. Winners need to send the picture of the bingo card as evidence in the Telegram group. The person in charge will pick the winner and contact them later. The prize announcement will be announced during the winner's announcement ceremony later in the evening. So those are the rules of this bingo game. Easy, right? So get ready, fellow wizards. Good luck and have fun. Okay, guys, we will proceed with the bingo game now. The theme for today is horror. And here is a list of verbs. You guys can start putting your bingo cards and fill them with your 25 verbs that are related to horror now. We will give you 15 minutes before we read the story later. Good luck, everyone.
Okay, everyone, start getting your paper and pens, and you can start creating your bingo box now.
Forget to choose the 25 verbs.
Yeah. Out of all these verbs, just try to imagine and guess which verbs would suit the horror theme more. Is it scream, fly, drink, or laugh? Anything that you think suits the horror or scary theme. So, guys, once again, here are 50 verbs, and you only need to choose 25 verbs that are related to our theme today, which is horror. So, when you read each of the words, you imagine and guess which one would you choose and use in a horror story to make it scarier.
Okay, guys, we will repeat the instructions again. Auni?
Okay. First, first of all, you need to do this box 5 times 5 box so that you can have 25 empty spaces that you will put your words that you choose. Okay. Firstly, you just draw this. You can just draw this roughly. It doesn't have to be too straight or too pretty. Just a 5 times 5 bingo box. And next, okay, we have given you the theme, which is horror, and you need to predict the words that would be used in the game later. For your information, after this, we will read a story, and when you hear the story, you will listen to the whole story. And if you hear the words that is on your bingo card, you can mark the word on your bingo card. Okay. Okay. Yes, we will read the text or story, and when you hear it, you just tick every word that you hear. So choose your words wisely, because if you become if you have bingos, maybe you can be the winner for this session.
Hey guys, we'll be showing you guys the 50 verbs for the theme, which is horror. So these are the 50 verbs that you can choose. That you will choose from these 50 verbs, and you will fill in your bingo cards.
Okay, guys, we have around 8 more minutes, so please fill in your boxes with the 25 words, and then we can proceed with the game after this. If you have a bingo, whether it's in a horizontal, vertical, or diagonal line, you can snap your bingo card and send it to the Telegram with your full name. Okay.
Six more minutes. Don't forget to fill your bingo cards. Five minutes left, guys. The clock is ticking. Good job, Farah Mardia. Three more minutes.
Okay, less than 2 minutes left.
One minute left, guys.
Because this is for listening and reading, while you are listening to the story, you also need to check all 25 verbs. So you need to read really fast for this one. Listen attentively, and you need to skim through your bingo box.
All right, time is up, everyone.
All right, 15 minutes is up. We hope everyone is ready because we are going to read the story now. And you need to listen attentively on the words and watch out for your bingo card. If you hear the words that is in your bingo card, you just mark them. Okay? All right, guys. 1 second. Okay, so the story begins with I dream of black and red. I whisper in the dark if anyone can hear me. I stride across the room, but find nothing peculiar. The cold room makes me shiver. I need to relax. A tiny, squeaky voice coming from behind me.
Let me devour your flesh.
I turn around to hit whoever is the owner of the voice, but I see no one.
Did I scare you? You know you can never find me.
I look up and see two ravens fly above me and disappear.
Take a sip of the liquid on the table. My treat.
The annoying voice giggles when I take the glass and smash it on the wall.
You can never run from me.
I sigh and silently agree.
You will follow me everywhere.
I shake my head. This room is trying to drive me crazy. Various thoughts and emotions swim in my mind. I groan. What do I have to do for you to leave me alone? Thick fog appears in the room. What's this? I breathe heavily in panic. An old carriage stops in front of me. A tall figure in black robe pulls me by the arm. The mysterious figure glares at me with his lifeless eyes.
I crave your soul, young man.
I shut my eyes, realizing that I have to pay for my sins. With a heavy heart, I step into the carriage and ride it. I never wake up.
So that's the end of the story. Do you guys want us to repeat the story again?
Let us know in the Facebook comment section and also YouTube and in our Telegram group.
All right, we will repeat the story again.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, guys. The story begins with I dream of black and red. I whisper in the dark if anyone can hear me. I stride across the room, but find nothing peculiar. The cold room makes me shiver. I need to relax. A tiny, squeaky voice coming from behind me.
Let me devour your flesh.
I turn around to hit whoever is the owner of the voice, but I see no one.
Did I scare you? You know you can never find me.
I look up and see two ravens fly above me and disappear.
Take a sip of the liquid on the table. My treat.
The annoying voice giggles when I take the glass and smash it on the wall.
You can never run from me.
I sigh and silently agree.
You will follow me everywhere.
I shake my head. This room is trying to drive me crazy. Various doubts and emotions swim in my mind. What's this? I breathe heavily in panic. An old carriage stops in front of me. A tall figure in black robe pulls me by the arm. The mysterious figure glares at me with his lifeless eyes.
I crave your soul, young man.
I shut my eyes, realizing that I have to pay for my sins. With a heavy heart, I step into the carriage and ride it. I never wake up.
So, do you guys get the verbs in the story? Or do you want us to repeat it again?
Yeah, we can repeat it slower.
Alright, we will repeat the story again. Listen attentively.
Okay, we will read it again. I dream of black and red. I whisper in the dark if anyone can hear me. I stride across the room but find nothing peculiar. The cold room makes me shiver. I need to relax. A tiny, squeaky voice coming from behind me.
Let me devour your flesh.
I turn around to hit whoever is the owner of the voice, but I see no one.
Did I scare you? You know you can never find me.
I look up and see two ravens fly above me and disappear.
Take a sip of the liquid on the table. My treat.
The annoying voice giggles when I take the glass and smash it on the wall.
You can never run from me.
I sigh and silently agree.
You will follow me everywhere.
I shake my head. I shake my head. This room is trying to drive me crazy. Various doubts and emotions swim in my mind. I groan. What do I have to do for you to leave me alone? Thick fog appears in the room. What's this? I breathe heavily in panic. An old carriage stops in front of me. A tall figure in black robe pulls me by the arm. The mysterious figure glares at me with his lifeless eyes. When I crave your soul,
I crave your soul, young man.
I breathe heavily in panic. I shut my eyes, realizing that I have to pay for my sins. With a heavy heart, I step into the carriage and ride it. I never wake up.
That's the end of the story. Do you guys get the verbs on your bingo cards? Wow, there are so many people get bingos. Good job, guys. You guys can send your bingo cards before 12 p.m. Don't forget to send your bingo cards in Telegram before 12 p.m.
All right. Thank you, Miss Auni and Miss Farah. And congratulations to all winners. So I've seen a lot of participations in the Telegram group. That's very interesting and exciting, isn't it? So, okay. So it seems that we are done with our first lot. And don't worry, we will be seeing each other again at 2:15 p.m. this evening for the next session regarding personality. Isn't that sound interesting? So go take your lunches, pray and freshen up. I heard the Great Hall is serving some tasty treats. See you again at 2:15 p.m.